This is Mozzie. Since his release, this little guy has been tearing up the pro scene and the ranked stomping grounds alike. He has two extremely satisfying weapons, great utility, and perhaps most important of all, his gadget denies intel. At release, he was truly a jack of all trades with even a secondary shotgun to really be able to do anything he wanted. It really came to no one's surprise when he got nerfed, but even so, Mozzie has remained as a top tier pick, which is why learning him is so crucial. Hey, before we get right into the video, take 1 second and make sure you guys have subscribed if you haven't already. Only a tiny percentage of people have actually subscribed, and doing so helps me out a ton. Mozzie has available to him two primaries, the P10 Roni and the Commando 9. Even though the Commando 9 is technically an assault rifle, it really feels like just a better UMP. It's by no means a bad gun, but Mozzie's P10 Roni outclasses it in fire rate, DPS, and the availability of a 1.5 scope. These factors make the Roni almost a must pick, even with a smaller magazine. You'll be able to laser your opponents and even get 2 or more kills with just one mag. Even after this recoil and magazine size nerf, the Roni is still very controllable and really shouldn't be too much of an issue for any player. Previously, a lot of people would run extended barrel, but now I would recommend flash hider unless you're super comfortable with the gun. It is a little bit jumpy at times, and with only 16 bullets, you really don't want to be missing shots due to recoil. My recommendation would be flash hider vertical grip. If you really need a faster ADS time, then you could justify running angled grip, but personally I think vertical grip and just hard scoping most angles is the way to go now. The 1.5 is a really strong addition to the gun, and unless you're someone like Shaiko, you probably should be running it. With Mozzie, you're going to excel in short to medium range fights, and you should make sure to always fight near cover. Your 16 bullet capacity means you'll have to duck behind it pretty often to reload in any sort of extended fight. Other than his primaries, Mozzie has one pistol choice in the SDP 9mm, which is an average pistol. Put a muzzle brake on it and you're fine. When it comes to a secondary gadget, Nitrocell, every time. It's way too powerful of a tool to not bring, especially when it comes to Mozzie, who's able to capture attacker intel to use it to get a C4 kill. There is nothing more satisfying than capturing an attacker's drone and then killing them using that intel. Let's take a look at his gadget, because it's not as simple as it might seem. Mozzie has 3 pests that stick to any surface, triggering when an attacker's drone enters its 3-meter range. A direct hit on a drone will instantly capture it, and in addition to this, if a drone is thrown through the Mozzie pest range, it will still capture it. These pests can be shot from any distance with no drop-off, but the sighting reticle is pretty bad, so it's best to just shoot them from closer rather than farther away. Once launched and deployed on a surface, Mozzie can pick the pests back up. If no pest is chambered in the launcher, it'll automatically be chambered, saving you a little bit of time. The range is enough to cover a double door as long as the pest is placed right in the middle, but if you place the pest on one side, it will not reach all the way across. This also applies to windows, so if you're trying to place a pest on a window, I would actually recommend shooting out this middle slat right here. You can place it inside, so if the attackers open up the window, the pest won't fall down, meaning you'll still be able to capture a drone that jumps or is thrown through that window. Placement is super important when trying to deny drones. And that brings me to the most important note. Mozzie is not meant to capture drones, contrary to what might be intuitive. Mozzie is meant to deny attackers the ability to drone by creating what is effectively a force field for drones. This is most effective when you're using it to support a roam. Mozzie can place pests around the perimeter of where roamers will be playing to prevent attackers from gaining precise intel. Even if an attacker knows there's a pest and a defender in a room, they can't ever get a live ping or push out that defender with the drone. Mozzie isn't strictly an intel operator, rather, he falls into a weird niche of anti-intel. These are operators like Cav, who denies sound, Vigil, who denies drones but only for himself, and Mute, who is all around denial, but drones are the biggest part of that now. Mozzie pairs well with any of these, but is most dangerous when combined with Mute. The Mute Mozzie combo is infamous in Pro League for its efficiency in denying intel, and for good reason. This results in a total of 7 entryways or drone holes that can be blocked off entirely for attackers' drones, which makes it almost impossible to drone out what you need. One mistake I often see players making is chasing after drones in prep phase with pests. Many players think that catching 3 drones in prep phase means they won as Mozzie, but it's really the opposite. Sure, you now have 3 slightly worse vault cams to use, but attackers will know that and look for the shiny blue light on them. Even worse, you've now used up your entire gadget before the enemies have even entered the building. Good luck trying to deny a roam clear now that the attackers have 7 more drones to use freely. Instead of spamming your pests to drones in prep phase, shoot them. Catching one drone can be useful, but any more means that you're just killing your own effectiveness while roaming, which is very, very bad. Just always remember that at the end of the day, you're playing an anti-intel operator, so denying intel with your gun is just as valuable. You can really do anything you want with Mozzie because of the amount of versatility his kit gives you. My preferred playstyle is to do a combination of a shallow roam and a deep roam, where I kind of walk around the map knowing that I'm pretty safe because I created a sort of grid where no drones can get through, and really just messing with attackers. You waste as much time as possible, and you get a lot of kills with his excellent gun. And when the late round comes around, you have a C4 that lets you deny plant too. Mozzie really can do everything, and he lends himself the best to confident, aggressive players. IQ can detect both pests and hack drones, Hedra can disable both, and obviously explosives, bullets, or melee attacks can do the job too. Make sure you don't place your pests right on a door frame, since most of them are wall bangable, meaning they can get shot from outside, which you absolutely do not want. Place them a little bit farther away just so attackers won't be able to clear it without stepping into the building or wasting a drone. Also be careful in placing pests on the barricade itself. When it comes to double doors, I like placing the pest on the second or third slat from the bottom to make it a little harder for attackers to shoot out. You can bait Mozzie pests with the drone sacrifice by backing the drone through an external entrance with a Mozzie pest, and jumping it forward as soon as it's triggered. If Mozzie doesn't save the drone within the 3-second timer, it will lose signal and Mozzie will be out of 1/3 of his pests. I love using this trick on something like Consulate's garage or even Chalet's garage wall, to then clear the way for a Twitch drone. If this happens to you, try to save the drone if possible by hopping on it quickly. Otherwise, watch that same entrance for a follow-up Twitch drone. There is a proposed change on the test server that allows drones to be outside for 10 seconds before being disabled, so if that change makes it to the live build, this counter won't be as effective, but you still have to pay attention as a Mozzie to make sure your drones don't get baited out like that. Once you actually capture a drone, try to position them as you would a Valk cam. You can use them as intel for a pre-placed nitro below, or just an additional cam to set up a flank. Active droning is risky and will get the drone shot most of the time, even by your own teammates. If there is a Mozzie on your team, just know that his drones will have a white outline around them, so please don't shoot it. For supporting a roamer with a live drone, Mozzie is only slightly worse than Echo. You're able to drone, distract the attacker, and then your teammate can swing with the intel and get the kill. Mozzie's a 2-2 fragging machine with one of the strongest kits in the game, arguably the best gun in the game, a C4, and the ability to cut off an entire portion of a map from being droned. He's one of the strongest anti-intel ops and has amazing synergies that can be abused at any level. He's a super easy op to pick up, but to be as effective as possible, you need to have great game sense to pick up on common droning paths and patterns. He's almost never a bad pick in any team comp and on any map, and with him you can be sure to terrorize the enemy team's drones. Again, if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, helps out a ton. Comment what operator guide you'd like to see next, as well as any other sort of mechanics guides or other tutorials. Thanks for watching, I'll see you in the next one.